Today our topic is how Stoics dealt with loneliness. Loneliness is something everyone feels at some point in life. It can come when you are physically alone, or even when you are surrounded by people but feel disconnected. The Stoics, ancient philosophers who lived over 2,000 years ago, had a unique way of thinking about loneliness. They believed that loneliness is not just about being alone, but about how we see ourselves and our place in the world. Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we respond to it. This idea is powerful when it comes to dealing with loneliness. Let's explore how Stoics approach this feeling and what we can learn from them. First, the Stoics believe that loneliness is not something to fear or avoid. Instead, it is an opportunity to reflect and grow. When you are alone, you have time to think deeply about your life, your values, and your purpose. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage." This means that life can be hard, and sometimes we feel lost or alone. But these moments can also be a chance to build strength and resilience. Instead of running away from loneliness, the Stoics would say, face it, understand it, use it. They believe that solitude could be a teacher, helping us to know ourselves better. One of the key ideas in Stoicism is the difference between what we can control and what we cannot. The Stoics called this the dichotomy of control. We cannot control whether other people are around us or whether they understand us, but we can control how we react to being alone. For example, if you feel lonely because your friends are busy, you cannot force them to spend time with you. But you can choose how to spend your time alone. You can read a book, write in a journal, or take a walk in nature. The Stoics would say that these moments of solitude are not a problem, but a chance to focus on what truly matters to you. Another Stoic idea that helps with loneliness is the concept of self-sufficiency. The Stoics believe that true happiness comes from within, not from other people or external things. This does not mean that Stoics did not value relationships or friendships. They did. But they also believed that we should not rely on others for our sense of worth or happiness. The philosopher Epictetus said, "No person is free who is not master of themselves." This means that if you depend on others to feel good, you are giving away your power. Instead, the Stoics taught that we should learn to be content with ourselves even when we are alone. This idea of self-sufficiency can be very helpful when dealing with loneliness. If you feel lonely, it might be because you are looking for something outside yourself to fill a void. Maybe you are waiting for someone to call you, invite you out, or make you feel important. The Stoics would say that this is a mistake. Instead of waiting for others, you can take responsibility for your own happiness. You can find joy in your own thoughts, your own goals, and your own company. This does not mean you should isolate yourself or avoid relationships. It just means that you should not let your happiness depend entirely on others. The Stoics also believed in the importance of perspective. They taught that our feelings, including loneliness, are not caused by the situations themselves, but by how we think about those situations. For example, if you are alone on a Friday night, you might feel sad and think, "No one cares about me." But the Stoics would challenge this thought. They would say, is it true that no one cares about you? Or is it just that they are busy tonight? They would also ask, why does it matter if you are alone tonight? Can you still enjoy your own company? By changing the way you think about being alone, you can change how you feel about it. One practical way to apply this Stoic idea is through journaling. The Stoics were big believers in writing down their thoughts and reflecting on them. If you feel lonely, you can write about it. Ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Is it because I am truly alone? Or is it because I am focusing on what I don't have instead of what I do have? Writing can help you see your situation more clearly and find new ways to think about it. It can also help you remember that loneliness is temporary and that you have the power to change how you feel. Another Stoic practice that can help with loneliness is gratitude. The Stoics believe that we should focus on what we have, not what we lack. When you feel lonely, it is easy to think about all the things you don't have: friends, a partner, a busy social life. But the Stoics would say, what do you have? What are you grateful for? Maybe you have a comfortable home, good health, or a hobby you enjoy. By focusing on these things, you can shift your mindset from one of lack to one of abundance. Gratitude does not make loneliness disappear, but it can make it easier to bear. The Stoics also believed in the importance of connecting with something larger than yourself. They called this the cosmic perspective. This means seeing yourself as part of a bigger picture, part of the universe. When you feel lonely, it can help to remember that you are not truly alone. You are connected to nature, to humanity, and to the world around you. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius often wrote about this idea in his journal, which we now call Meditations. He reminded himself that he was part of a greater whole, and that his life had meaning because of this connection. This perspective can help you feel less isolated and more grounded. Finally, the Stoics believed in taking action. They did not just sit around thinking about their problems. They took steps to improve their lives. If you feel lonely, the Stoics would encourage you to do something about it. This might mean reaching out to someone, joining a group, or trying something new. But it also means taking care of yourself. Make sure you are eating well, exercising, and getting enough sleep. These small actions can make a big difference in how you feel. In conclusion, the Stoics had a unique and powerful way of dealing with loneliness. They saw it not as a problem to be solved, but as an opportunity to reflect, grow, and connect with yourself. By focusing on what you can control, practicing self-sufficiency, changing your perspective, and taking action, you can transform loneliness into a meaningful experience. Remember, you are not alone in feeling lonely. It is a natural part of being human. But with the wisdom of the Stoics, you can learn to face it with courage, grace, and even gratitude.